morning, Quadcopter 101 here. And today's shout out goes to Azaron Swoswo. Azaron was first to say first in one of my recent videos, and thus wins this shout out, so congratulations. Good morning, Quadcopter 101 here, with a review of the new Jumper T Pro transmitter, an upgrade to the Jumper T-Lite, which I got right here. What's new? What's special about the new Jumper T Pro? Well, the new T Pro includes 8 additional channels as compared to the original Jumper T-Lite. This one was only 8 channels. This one's 16 channels of controls on here. Added buttons and added controls on here. Additionally, this one, the original T-Lite, was powered by a single 18650 battery. The new T Pro now has 2 battery power. There's a battery under that case and a battery under that handle there. And the reason being it's to power the nano modules that are available for this particular transmitter. The original T-Lite here just did not have the power to power up external modules. It did have external module capability, but just not the power through that single 18650 battery. The new one with the 2 batteries now has that power. Okay, as with the original Jumper, this does have a built-in multi-protocol module in it, a 4-in-1. It's actually the same one as in the Jumper T-Lite. It includes integrated modules of A7105, CC2500, NFR2401, and CYR6936. And as with the original Jumper, this gives you the ability to connect this transmitter with various receivers that are available out there. Again, you don't need to purchase a different transmitter for each different receiver as you used to back in the old days. When I'm saying old days, I'm just saying about 4 or 5 years ago. But nowadays, you don't need to do that anymore. With these multi-protocol transmitters, these are good for all receivers, just about all receivers. Another capability of this new transmitter is that it has the ability to use external modules with it. Okay, in fact, you can purchase an external module as an option with this. The one that they're offering right now is the Express Lora SX module, ELRS nano module and transmitter to go with this. And this gives you the added capability of increased range flight. They're predicting out to 10 kilometers through the use of this external module. Keep in mind, a lot of countries don't allow you to fly 10 kilometers. So, but if your country does, this has the capability of doing such, supposedly. Again, and the way this would work, folks, let me just show you real quick here. There's the external plug that uses this module. You need this adapter here. This plugs into the back through this particular plug here. There's also 3 little screws that'll screw onto the back like so, and then you can simply slide these modules on and off as desired to give you that capability of adding the module to the transmitter. You also have to go into the OpenTX menus and select external transmitter, which isn't very hard at all. It's a 5-second thing to do. But again, for $26 more, you get this increased capability, so that's something to think about too. This, in addition to the ELRS, it's also capable of using Crossfire, CRSF, TBS tracer modules. I think I'm missing one. Those are the 2 that I can think of right now. The Crossfire and the tracer, TBS tracer, Team Black Sheep tracer modules. They also can be used with this particular transmitter. And again, that's a capability is allowed now as compared to the original Jumper T-Lite, because we now have 2 batteries to provide that extra power. These modules can go up to 500 milliwatts of power, and if you select 500 milliwatts of power with the original T-Lite, that would just drain that battery right away. Now you have the extra battery to give you the extra power needed for these external modules. Now, let's talk about the size of this. This is bigger than the original T-Lite. I'd say about 1/3 of the, well, it's very similar in size to the original T-Lite, except it's heavier. Okay, it's about 288 grams as compared to the original T-Lite. Hold on, I'll tell you what the original T-Lite weighed. Yeah, the original T-Lite weighs 230 grams with the single battery. That added battery brings us up to about 288 grams, so it is a bit heavier than the T-Lite. Now, it does have Hall effect gimbals, the same as the T-Lite. They're not the same gimbal though, but they are Hall effect They look the same, they feel similar, but according to Jumper, they are improved versions of the Hall effect gimbals. Now, what is a Hall effect gimbal? Well, these Hall effect gimbals use magnetic sensors instead of potentiometers to sense the movement of the sticks. And with that, you get much more crisper control. With time, the old potentiometer controllers, they use their contact switches actually inside their sliding contacts. They would wear out with time. These are less likely to have problems with time, and again are much more precise in control as compared to old style potentiometer gimbals. Now, I mentioned it has 16 channel capability. This is increased capability over the original T-Lite. We have more buttons. Let's go over what we got in terms of buttons and controls. We have the 4 sticks. You know, we got throttle, yaw, pitch, and roll, like the original T-Lite. That's 4 channels right there. But now we have this added 6 channels up here of 2-position switches. These are 2-position switches. Let me show you. Turn it on here.
Welcome to OpenTX.
You can tell which position they are.
Switch warning.
Yeah, these come back like that. But turning on each one of these switches, the lights will come on as you turn them on to tell you that they've been activated. Only one of these can be activated at a time for some reason. I don't know why, but only one can be activated on at any one instance. But I use these mainly for arming and disarming because they're 2-position switches. And additionally, we have 2 3-position switches on the shoulder of the transmitter here. I use this one particularly for my mode switch for selecting angle and horizon and acro for my drones. We also have these momentary switches on these trigger switches. I would use these momentary switches mainly for such as turtle, turning on and off turtle mode on your drone. If it flips upside down, you can momentarily press this and activate turtle mode on your drone to write it. That's what these would be used, I would think. And also we have 2 scroll wheels. If you have a need for scroll, you put scroll control. We do have that on here on the drone. Other buttons on this controller. Other buttons on this controller is the navigation buttons. We have 3 navigation buttons down here. This is for selecting the different menus, and this is up and down on those menus. And we also have a scroll wheel navigation over here to help you go through the menus more. And the scroll also has a selection button that you activate by pressing into the scroll
Switch
right
warning.
here. I don't know what I just selected, but we'll go over that here shortly. Additionally, we talked about the navigation menus. There are 2 trim switches on this. It's trim buttons for trimming left and right, trimming up and down,
Trim center.
trimming left and right on
Trim
yaw,
center.
and up and down on
Trim
throttle.
center.
So we have trim control for the sticks on this particular transmitter. And finally, we have an on-off switch right there. I'm turning it off right now. Other things on this, we have a folding antenna on here, right here. Some people might be tempted to use this as a handle. I would not recommend that because I don't know how well this is attached to this, but the idea of the folding is to get it out of the way so you can store it easily. I forgot to mention that this does come with a carrying case for the controller, and also it has a gimbal protector that comes in that carrying case. So it does, I forgot to mention the nice carrying case. I always forget to mention those things. So I mentioned the trim switches, on-off switches, antenna. Finally, let's talk about other things on this. It has an SD card slot. SD card slot is used for fine-tuning certain things on this. For adding, you can add voice control on this using the SD card. In fact, I had to do that using sliding an SD card in there. Additionally, you can upgrade the firmware or save models using that SD card with this particular controller. Other things on this, I forgot to mention, we have a 1.3-inch LCD screen here. Let's see if that actually comes in so you can see it. You got to hold the power button on like so.
Welcome to
And it shows the
OpenTX.
OpenTX there. As such,
Throttle warning.
it also has alerts through the speaker, as you heard the speaker, and it also has haptic vibrations. I can feel the vibrations when those alerts come on for this particular controller. Let me turn off the throttle and center all the positions there. We also have on the top of this and in the back, we have a 3.5 millimeter port here, PPM simulator port for simulator programs, along with this USB port here, a Type-C USB port, mainly for charging the batteries in this controller. But additionally, you can use this USB port for simulator programs. In addition, either one of these can be used for the simulator programs. Additionally, there is a boot button here in the center. Now, the original T-Lite, there was a problem with the original T-Lite, and I've had that problem happen to me already, in that sometimes when you plug in and charge this particular controller through that USB port, that would put this into boot mode. And to get out of it, you had to reinstall the firmware into this controller. To eliminate that problem, they've made it so that you can't enter boot mode by accidentally plugging in the controller. And to enter boot mode with this one, you need to press this button here in the center and manually do such, so that you don't have that problem anymore. Because again, a lot of people were complaining, and I'm one of them, in that this thing would sometimes enter into boot mode, and again, to get out of it, you had to update the firmware. Not using the SD card, by the way, you had to actually manually update the firmware through the USB port using OpenTX Companion, which is a software program you have to use with a computer to do such. So keep that in mind. For those of you who got the T-Lite out there wondering why it's been bricked, you can unbrick it by just upgrading the firmware through the USB port on it. And if anybody has that problem, just leave a comment down below, and I'll include a link to show you how to do such. Joshua Bardwell did a nice little review on how to upgrade the firmware on your particular controller using OpenTX Companion. So keep that in mind. Okay, what have I mentioned so far? Mentioned the firmware update, putting it in the device firmware update mode with the T-Lite, and that's been eliminated now. Again, I did forget to mention this does use OpenTX firmware on here. OpenTX firmware makes this highly configurable, folks. That's the advantage of using OpenTX, why they put that on this here. You can adjust, select any of these buttons to make them do anything you want. You can make this controller just control just about anything using through OpenTX. But I'm not going to go into detail on OpenTX because there's a lot of software, or a lot of videos out there already talking about OpenTX and what you can do with it. But again, this uses OpenTX with its firmware. So, and finally, I did touch upon the external batteries. The batteries on this, you are going to need to provide your own 18650 batteries for this. You're going to need 2 of them. They are mounted specifically with the positive terminals on the top, so keep that in mind here, folks. A problem that the original, that's not focusing. Let's see if I can get that to focus. There we go. The problem with the original T-Lite was that if you accidentally put these batteries in upside down or inverse, you could actually brick this, burn it out. I'm not sure that they fixed that problem. Okay, because I have not seen any reference to that. So be careful when you insert batteries into this. Make sure the positive terminals are on the top. And again, this can be charged through, and should be charged through, the USB port, Type-C USB port on the controller. Okay, one of the things I forgot to mention, let's put this to the side. This does come with a manual, a quick start manual. However, this manual is focused, and I guess it should be, mainly on OpenTX and how to use OpenTX. It's actually quite nice in its coverage of OpenTX software. So keep that in mind. I would recommend going through this manual, and it'll give you an idea of how to configure this controller for your particular needs. Now, I have this already set up with several different models. I want to demonstrate down in my basement using this controller with several different models to demonstrate that yes, you can use this with multiple RC products. You are not bound by that single transmitter anymore like we were in the past, where you had to buy a FR Sky transmitter or a Fly Sky transmitter or a Spectrum transmitter. It's all built into one transmitter these days. So hold on, folks, let's take it down to the basement and demonstrate that. Good morning, Quadcopter 101, and welcome to the Quadcopter 101 Indoor Flight Test Facility. I always like to demonstrate these controllers, these multi-protocol controllers with multi-protocol aircraft. Okay, keep in mind this can be used with hobby grade, okay, and it's intended to be used with hobby grade. I got some more or less toyish type of drones I'm going to be flying with. I would be flying outdoors, folks, but the weather again is bad up here in Erie, Pennsylvania. So we're going to be flying indoors with these smaller aircraft. I'm not going to actually fly the airplane. I just want to show you that it can connect to that and control the aircraft. Again, since we're flying indoors, we're going to be flying little whoops to demonstrate this with different protocols on these different aircraft. We'll start off with this little BetaFPV drone here. This uses a toy protocol called buying protocol on here in its receiver. So, and to connect that, I already have a profile set up in here, a model profile set up with buying protocol for buying protocol whoops. Now to access this, we're already in that protocol, but we need to bind, I know with the buying protocol we need to bind the receiver to the transmitter every time. Okay, so to do that, we got to go into the menus for the buying, and to do such, we're going to select it like so, and then we're going to scroll actually up from the bottom to find the receiver. Now let me show you real quick that I had selected buying protocol. I don't know if that's coming through. I hope it is, that you can see it. But we need to go down to bind and select bind. And I noticed that starts blinking, and that only beeped once, so we are connected. We should be good to go. Now, okay, I'm going to select angle mode on this 3-position rocker switch by pointing it toward me, and then I am going to arm this aircraft by pressing this button here. I had set these up again previously that this button here is going to be my mode switch and this button here is going to be my arm switch. So let's arm it, and we notice the motors are starting to spin, and let's try that. So yeah, and actually these gimbals on this are okay. Which way am I going? Turning it off, disarming. Okay, putting it back on the pad. Let's try it one more time. And let me take my glasses off, folks. I'm having a hard time seeing and flying at the same time, that close up. So arming again and giving it throttle. There we go. So it works. Let's go on to the next one, and then disarming like so. Okay, that's buying protocol. For the next one we got here is we got a little Mobula 70 there. Now that Mobula uses FR Sky as its protocol, and actually let's select it first in the menus since this is an FR Sky receiver. And to do such, we just do a quick press of this button here, and I am going to select the one I already set up, which is the Whoop FR Sky 8 D8, and I had set this up previously. Actually, I got to press that button there and select model and Whoop FR8. That's what I want. I got to hit enter, select model. There we go, enter. Now I want to go into the menus of this and double check that we are in FR Sky D. We are set there, so we should be good to go actually. And again, I am going to select angle mode and make sure that my arm switch is off since I don't see a light. So we should be transmitting right now on the FR Sky band or or protocol. So all we really need to do is turn on the drone, plug it in, put it on. It should be already bound, and we are in angle mode, and I'm going to arm it by pressing this button here, and I notice the motor starts spinning right away. So there we go. So it works. So again, one transmitter for everything. You don't need multiple transmitters anymore. In fact, I'm not sure why people still use some of these older transmitters, these old big ones, like Tyrannus. I don't know. Why would you need it anymore? And I'm going to get a lot of comments for just what I said there down below. But really, folks, I find myself using the T-Lite these days, and I'm going to be probably using this one quite a bit too. Notice the telemetry lost since we turned it off. But again, I rarely use my Tyrannus anymore, folks. It's just, with these, I have no need. Okay, and finally I want to demonstrate that it works also with aircraft. We're going to select, go back into the models, and we're going to select the Spitfire there. I already have this set up. And hit select model. It should be good to go. I'm not sure if I need to bind this or not. Maybe I do, we'll find out. But we're going to plug it in. And actually it sounds like it's already connected. Let's just verify that. Yep. So, right. And I can see right now I need to reverse my controls. Because that's okay, that's right. Okay, that's right. And right turn, left turn, and down elevator, up elevator, and a little bit of throttle. So there, you can see we are set up there. So again, one transmitter for everything, just like the original. Remember the Jumper T8SG? That's the first one that started everything. The old T8SG. I wish I still had mine, but I gave that away a long time ago. Then I went with the Jumper V2, then I got the T12, then I got the T-Lite. Now I got this. This might be my new favorite. We'll see. So, hope you enjoyed this review. This is Quadcopter 101 again with the Jumper T Pro. Quadcopter 101, signing out. Hi, Quadcopter 101 here again. Hey, if you want to get your own shout out in one of my future videos, make sure you subscribe to my channel. It's real simple. Just go to my channel page and click on that subscribe. And also make sure to click that bell button right next to the subscribe button. That way you get notified when I release a brand new video immediately and give you a chance to get that first shout out. So give it a try, folks.